Imagine if a robot would come up to you and say, "Hey, that's a really nice t-shirt, where did you get this?" Well, that's the system that we've implemented in this work and present in this late-breaking report. We've created a system that generates visual conversation starting questions. This is important because robots really need to develop situational awareness. That means that they should be able to understand their environment and know what's going on around themselves. And then they should be able to use this knowledge in any conversation, specifically an open domain conversation. That means a conversation that really goes on about anything, and that's key for a successful human-robot interaction. So this system generates simple conversation starting questions that specifically reference some visual feature, such as the clothing that the person is wearing. And we use this to personalize small talk between a human and a robot in order to get more engagement in this human-robot interaction. The system that generates these questions look like this. First, we collected a dataset of 4,000 images that represent what a robot would see when it's interacting with a human, and using crowdsourcing, we collected 3 conversation starting questions for each of those images, and we've publicly released this dataset. Then we created a model that generates a question based on this image. First, we used an existing captioning model for this that generates a textual description based on this image, and then we used a model to generate a question based on this caption. And we compare 2 different models for this. On one side, a baseline retrieval model based on the TF-IDF formula, and on the other side, a generative sequence-to-sequence model based on the BART model, which uses the transformer architecture. We then evaluated this output using both automatic metrics that are standard in natural language processing and using crowdsourcing for a human evaluation. We also demonstrated the outcome of this model on a Furhat social robot. The human evaluation shows that the BART model, the generative model, performs best because it's better at correctly referencing visual features. That was one of the 4 criteria on which we evaluated. The other 3 were how syntactically correct the question was, how interesting, and how appropriate. And we showed that on those other 3 criteria that those language models are very successful at generating such visual questions. We also compared the outcome of this human evaluation with automatic metrics, such as BLEU and Rouge, and we found that there was almost no correlation, which is a hindrance for developing such models. We've demonstrated this system on a Furhat social robot, and you're able to watch this demonstration on the YouTube video embedded in the slides present in the booth. We hope that you found this work interesting. We warmly invite you to read the paper that we published and get in touch using this contact information if you have any questions. We also publicly released this dataset, and you can access this using this GitHub repository.